freelancers. This week, I'd like to talk to you about the reason why you should have all of your portfolio materials ready to go. This actually happened to me yesterday, and it reminded me of how grateful I've been that I have access to all of my portfolio materials on my phone, and that I regularly use my phone or a tablet to respond to things in a time crunch. So yesterday I was actually driving almost an hour and a half each way to meet somebody for lunch. And right before I went into the lunch, I received an email with an opportunity where the person needed a job that was going to be completed in the next 2 weeks, and they wanted to receive a quote for that specific project. And I thought, oh, in 15 minutes, I'm stepping into a meeting. I don't even have my laptop with me, but if I let this go by for hours, they could definitely just decide to go elsewhere because this job has a tight turnaround schedule. So what I did instead was I just replied from my phone. I actually answered the entire message with my phone. I used the microphone feature on there and then double checked that everything was spelled correctly. And then I used the Dropbox app on my phone, and I have a folder on Dropbox of all of my writing samples. So I just copied the link from there and sent it to this person, sent them a copy of my resume, and kind of just said, I'm about to step into a meeting, but if you want to have a phone conversation when I step out on my way back, I'm certainly open to doing that. It took me maybe less than 10 minutes to fill that proposal out, and I actually quoted the entire job. It was more than $3,000. And while I was in lunch, obviously my phone's turned off. I wasn't paying any attention to my email. That initial proposal was accepted, and the first piece of that project was handed out, sort of as like a sample test project to do one of the pieces of the bigger puzzle. So to me, that was a reminder of it's always good, like if you get a gut feeling about it, or if it's an opportunity you really don't want to pass up, there are certain things that you can do pretty easily from your phone. Now, if it's a full-blown job application and you don't want to risk typing things in with your hands or making spelling mistakes because of that, that's a time when you might end up going to a library, or if you travel with your computer, pulling that out and taking care of that. But sometimes if it's just something quick, there's a benefit to filling out as much as you can for the client and sending it off immediately. Now, some people might think, oh, well, I want to take my time. I want to take hours to put together a proposal. But the truth is, if you have those minutes in your day, right? I had 15 minutes and I spent 10 of them answering this proposal. That gives the client the answer they need immediately and encourages them to take action immediately. So rather than waiting 3 to 5 days and I have to follow up and see how it's going and, decide they haven't opted to go forward with the project at all or whatever, I'm giving them an incentive to take action quickly, because part of my response in my proposal was saying, right now I have the bandwidth to take this project in the next 2 weeks, but I cannot guarantee that beyond 48 hours because, of course, things are always changing. So for this client, they saw an opportunity to lock in the one opening that I had and to take action with that quickly. And because I happened to respond on my phone and had easy access to my portfolio over Dropbox, and you could use a website in the same way, that gave them all the information they needed to make a decision immediately. So it's certainly not ideal to respond to proposals or to submit materials over your phone or over a tablet. It can be a little bit of a hassle, but there's an added benefit to being able to do things in the moment when you have a little bit of spare time. And obviously it really worked out in that case yesterday. That's actually happened to me before, where being one of the first to reply to an Upwork job or answering someone's email relatively quickly has landed me the project, because the person is already in the mindset of wanting to take action. They want to hire someone. They're ready to kind of cross that off their to-do list. And so to be able to do that by providing them my information quickly and effectively works really well. So you could send them samples over your website. You could save like a template pitch or proposal basis in the notes of your phone. I love using Dropbox if you need to share documents. That way people don't have to worry about downloading it. They're just opening a link. You could do the same thing with embedding PDFs or other work samples on your website. So this is just a idea to help you land business in the future by doing it quickly and effectively from your phone or tablet if you have to do it, because it tends to work out with the type of client who wants to have someone on board quickly. Now, it's not always going to be perfect. However, I found that this works really, really well when those jobs do pop up. So it's worth taking the 10 to 20 minutes to make sure you're set up to do this if you need to. Best of luck.